everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the Indiana State Police Roadshow. I'm your host, Sergeant John Prine, the Indiana State Police Public Information Officer for the Indianapolis District. The Roadshow is brought to you each and every week by the Indiana State Police Alliance and Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the State Police Alliance. For more information about our sponsors, you can visit them at www.indianasfinest.com. As always, a big, huge special thanks to Mr. Tom Trial for getting us looking good on YouTube. Thankful that he's back, and I'm no longer a one-man cell phone show. So Tom does an incredible job. And if you ever get a chance to check out the Indiana State Police YouTube channel, you'll see a lot of Tom's work on there, and what an incredible effort that he makes to document the history of the Indiana State Police. And we're so appreciative. Our guest today, co-host guest, First Sergeant Ron Gallivis, the Assistant Chief PIO for the Public Information Office downtown. And a new friend to the agency, to us anyway, is Shannon Frederick from Multiplying Good. She's the Indiana Executive Director, and she's here to talk about a nomination that was given to the Indiana State Police, and such an honor, and an opportunity for us to showcase kind of our behind-the-scenes civilian employees, and that's really what we want to make this about. So welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited.
Yeah. So Ron, let's talk about how this started. Our first, you know what? Let's take a step back and let's just talk about your 1 in a million, how it started, and give us a little brief background.
Sure. So our organization is called Multiplying Good. We are just shy of our 50th year. We were started as a bipartisan effort with Jackie Kennedy Onassis, Senator Robert Taft Jr. out of Ohio, and Sam Beard, who's still with us today, as a way to recognize America's unsung grassroots heroes. So those people that are doing amazing things in the community and don't get recognized, because people that do things in the community and give back, they don't do it to get recognized. And so they started Multiplying Good, and they give out Jefferson Awards. So the history and prestige is 50 years in the making. We do that through a number of ways. One is with media partners across the country, where 100 million Americans see Jefferson Award winners every year. We have corporate partners like Coca-Cola, United Steelworkers, here locally, Purdue University, Subaru of Indiana Automotive, Citizens Energy Group, CAR, Deloitte. And then we do a program for young people called Students in Action, because the future of service in America is with our young people. So we work in middle schools and high schools across the country and right here in Indiana, developing our next batch of servant leaders. And then we also recognize what we call like America's Who's Who. So folks like Colin Powell, Elie Wiesel, some folks here that we might recognize, Peyton Manning, Jeff Saturday, Senator Lugar, Joe Torre, with Jefferson Awards as well. So those folks are also doing, they're changing the fabric of America as well. So during, this unprecedented times, it's, how do we tell the stories that are happening now? Because people are stepping up in ways that they've never done before, right? People that have never given, jumping in to help their community. And then those folks like the Indiana State Police that still have to get up and go to work every single day, regardless of a pandemic, right? So what the mission of the Indiana State Police is to protect life and property within the state of Indiana from all threats, foreign and domestic. So who would have thought that a virus would be on our doorstep? So I started thinking about, who do I know? How can I recognize people with a 1 in a million? Because this award is for everyone. So I started thinking about my network, and I have a friend who's a civilian worker with the Indiana State Police, and I reached out to her. And I said, hey, I want to recognize every single person in the Indiana State Police, not only the sworn officers, but your mechanics, your administrative staff, your forensic people, everybody. And so she put me in contact with Ron, and so over a month ago, we started this process of nominating the Indiana State Police for a 1 in a million award.
So, probably 5 to 6 weeks ago, we had a conversation, and she talked me through the steps. Now, of course, talking about what it is that our civilians do, and I mean, John, you know full well, our civilian employees are the foundation upon which we're able to do our duties every single day. And without their tireless efforts, and you talk about the pandemic, so a number of them were afforded opportunities out of necessity and abundance of caution to work from home. telework. When we talked in the last episode, utilizing technology like Microsoft Teams to continue making sure the lights stay on, the bills are paid, the cars have fuel and tires and everything else in between. So, we got really excited about this nomination. And so we had to jump through a couple of small little hoops. It wasn't anything real big. But Shannon really spearheaded this effort for us, and we're so humbled and so honored to be recognized as a 1 in a million recipient.
Yeah, and it really is an honor. And you talk about our civilian employees and the things that they do every day that we could not function or operate without them. And they don't do this job, not like all of us. They don't do this for recognition or praise, but what a cool opportunity this is for them to just let them know that not just us who work with them every day, but the community also sees their efforts.
Right. As a private citizen, and my dad used to be, it was IPD back in the day, Indianapolis Police Department. So I have, family history with the police force, and it's important as a private citizen, and especially sitting in the role that I sit in, to be able to do this for people that, in my opinion, we have to have. So I'm excited, and I've waited for this. I think I'm more excited about this nomination than I have for, several of them that I've put through. So it's an honor as the executive director for Multiplying Good and as a citizen of Indiana, a proud Hoosier, and proud of all that the Indiana State Police are doing to keep us safe.
Very cool. So let us know where we are in the process, because a nomination was made. What happens now?
Okay. So the nomination was made. Our national office vets all of our nominations. And then Ron was sent some information, a digital badge and a digital certificate that you all are going to distribute to all of your employees.
Yes.
How you're going to do that, I don't know.
So we'll share that electronically. Unfortunately, we can't have a large gathering of 1,700 individuals, but so everyone will receive a notice, and we're going to include part of this interview with that, so that when somebody receives that, whether they're in the fiscal division or logistics or the lab, and they're wondering what is this 1 in a million, they can hear us talking about it and hear you describe kind of where it started and where it's at right now over the course of the last 50 years, as you explained.
Excellent.
Now, typically, I understand this probably award is for an individual, for a person. So how often is it given to a group as big as 1,700?
Well, I am if you ask the people that I work with, we're a staff of about 25 across the country. And as I started thinking about how this is going to look, and you want to nominate 1,700 people, well, I can't type up 1,700 nominations. So I asked our national office, how can we do this as a group, but still recognize all the individuals? So actually, with Ron's help and my national team, you guys are the first group to be nominated. So although it's the Indiana State Police Department, you're actually counted as the 1,700 employees inside of our database. I also did this with Citizen Energy Group as well. So you guys are the first ones. You're sort of the guinea pigs of how this will look. I will say, all the folks that are going to receive this award, because they work for the Indiana State Police, out of your 1,700 employees, I'm sure that there are folks that are doing amazing things in their individual communities across Indiana. Let's say some folks are getting together and they're packing food baskets to hand out. They can nominate themselves for a 1 in a million for that particular act. They can nominate the food bank that they're working for. So this is just, to me, like the start, and let's see that ripple grow. So you can receive more than one in a million for other efforts. So I'm hoping that when folks get this award, that they will then share it out with their network. So the digital badge you can put on your LinkedIn page or your Facebook page or your Twitter, and then share it out. And let's see how many Hoosiers we can recognize that are stepping up in amazing ways just from this one nomination.
Sure.
I'm really excited to watch this ripple grow.
Now, are you asking people to send you nominations or information? And if so, how do they get them to you?
Well, you do it when Ron sends out the information. It'll also share the link on how they can nominate others. And it literally takes 5 minutes, if that. Now, with the nomination that I worked on with Ron, took a little bit longer, but I did one for my best friend who decided to get out her sewing machine to start making masks for Horizon House. Took me less than 5 minutes to do that. So it's just a real quick, simple form. You put in your name, your email address, the name of the person you're nominating, their email address, and just a quick blurb of why you're nominating them. And then it's, again, sent to our national office. It's vetted. And then the recipient has to confirm the information is true and correct. And then once all of that's taken care of, which is usually about 2 business days, they're sent their award package, or their nominee is sent their award package. Takes less than 5 minutes, and I say the recognition lasts a lifetime.
Okay, so if somebody listening to the show wants to nominate somebody, can they go to the website?
Yep, you go to oneinaMillion.com.
Okay.
All spelled out, 1 in a million. And worst case, go to multiplyinggood.org, and you can get us there as well.
All right, excellent. So Tom, when you first heard about this nomination, I know that you and I spoke about this, and I think immediately you thought, wow, what an opportunity to showcase our civilians,
Right,
and the hard work
without
they do.
question.
Specifically, what they've had to do during this pandemic, and that is find creative ways to continue to do their job, because we can't just stop doing our job.
You're right, and we talked off air. This kind of more from another conversation, but our dispatchers, they're managing their lives at home. They're managing how they're moving around with this pandemic going on, and then coming into work, and all the potential hazards that are inherent no matter where they go or what they do. So navigating that, but then also listening for our folks, maybe even hollering for help on the other end of that radio, or answering the 911 call for somebody hollering for help, and all the stress and all that goes in. And then, our mechanics, there's a level of stress, and our laboratory, fiscal, the folks that maintain our facilities, our posts, and everybody in between. I know I'm leaving out, and not intentionally, I promise. There is not one civilian employee on this agency that does not deserve this recognition. They all do. They deserve so much more than what they, Tom over there keeping us afloat with the road show and all the great things that he does to help preserve the history that will go beyond, for generations.
Yeah.
People are going to look back and think, man, this individual did all of this to help preserve things for us. These are the coattails that we're riding on right now. So,
and I can assure you that none of our civilian employees do it for the money.
That's absolutely right. Or the recognition.
You're right. They do it because it's the right thing to do. It's in their heart. They serve, and they're just simply incredible people.
Right. And we've had some that have. We had an award ceremony back in the fall, and we had a couple that had 35 and 40 years on. I mean, so when you have employees that are staying for 35 and 40 years, it's more than a level of commitment. There's a love for this agency and for the people that they work not only with, but who they work for.
Yeah. So, Shannon, how many of these awards do you give out each year? Do you have a number or an estimation? I mean, it's got to be a lot.
Well, the 1 in a Million is brand new in this campaign because of the pandemic.
Okay.
So it's only until August 31st.
Oh, okay.
And our goal is 1 million.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know that's a big goal.
That's cool, though.
Especially when you only have about 25 people that work in your organization. So, I'm hoping, like I said, with the ripple of, just nominating folks here locally. But, a Jefferson Award is a more, like it's the history and the prestige of 50 years. And, those awards we give out maybe 24 a year.
Wow.
At the national level. So there's more that go on at the local level, but the 1 in a Million is specifically, to recognize those folks, like I said, that are stepping up or not knowing that they're stepping up because they're just going to do their job every day, and then trying to reinvent how they do their work with a 1 in a Million award because, in my brain, they are 1 in a million, or they're one of a million.
Yeah.
So if you can help us reach our goal, that would be excellent.
I think we can help, and we're asking people to go to the website, oneinaMillion.com, or multiplyinggood.org. Sorry, I was trying to read that.
Try doing your email address with it.
So if you know somebody who you'd like to nominate for a recognition, that maybe probably wouldn't nominate themselves or wouldn't expect anything. Maybe it's a neighbor. Maybe it's the grocery store cashier that you've seen working every day through this. Go to that website and give them a nomination. You've been tuned into the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance and Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the State Police Alliance. Our guest was Shannon Frederick, Executive Director for Multiplying Good Indiana. And we will see you next time.